You could start, Shanti, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Namaskar, and welcome to the 11th webinar today of SQAAF, which is on beneficiary satisfaction. We have the whole team today with us. We have our speaker, Shanti ma'am, and Kalpana ma'am, Deepa ma'am, Rita ma'am, Manju ma'am. The whole team is there, and the team leader is also there, Ms. Ramandeep Kaur, who started the whole SQAAF manual, and the whole SQAAF is her baby only. And she started with it, and you all must be knowing that she has put in a lot of effort in giving it the shape in which it is today. ये पूरा का पूरा स्क्वाफ मैनुअल को डिजाइन करने और उसको जिस रूप में वो है उसे आप तक पहुंचाने में उनकी बहुत मेहनत और बहुत लगन लगी है. आज मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि वो हमारे साथ हैं. वो अभी डेप्यूटी सेक्रेटरी सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस चंडीगढ़ में कार्यरत हैं और मैं उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि मैम स्क्वाफ पे हमें और गाइड करें और अपने विचार हमसे शेयर करें. ओवर टू यू रमन मैम.
Thank you, Anjali ma'am. Now it's your baby. You will be taking it further. You will be blooming. I hope you will be let it bloom.
We are trying.
Yeah, and you have a great team with you who have worked with us from the beginning and taking it forward. Still, they are attached with us and working diligently and very enthusiastically in taking this forward. Thank you once again, and I welcome all the participants who are here in this 11th session of the webinar series, which have been specifically designed for the schools in building their capacity to take up this exercise in an efficient manner and implement it in their schools in an effective manner also. And I hope that till now you will be pretty clear that this standards framework delineates a set of best practices which have been shared by the experts during all these sessions, which aim at building your capacity and the excellence of your institutions. It's true that if you take up this self-reflective exercise continuously and work for the self-improvement of your schools, that will ultimately assure your stakeholders that the school is working for the betterment of their children. And since this concept of quality is very complex and it has to be seen holistically, so the standards framework which CBSE has developed, it has not neglected that aspect of beneficiary satisfaction. It has taken into account all the important aspects, important functioning areas of functioning of the school, including this aspect. It has not been neglected. So this is the last domain of the framework, that is a beneficiary satisfaction. It not only talks about the satisfaction of the students or the parents, but it also talks about the satisfaction of the principal, the staff, teaching, both teaching and non-teaching, and then management, alumni, and the community. So this session, I think so it's very important for you to attend, and it will also take you through the modalities which you need to take up while assessing the satisfaction of your beneficiaries. It's quite important for you to assess the satisfaction of your stakeholders if you want to achieve your desired goals. So today's RP, Ms. Shanti Krishnamurthy ma'am, will be taking you through this session, and she will be explaining the details of this domain and also the importance of this domain in the whole framework. Over to you, Shanti ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raman ma'am. Thank you, Anjali ma'am. It's a joy to see Raman ma'am here. I remember all those sessions we had with you, ma'am, your support and guidance. Innumerable number of sittings we've been having right from 2021. I think it's really a surprise, pleasant surprise to have you amidst us today. And I'm sure all whatever you have guided us, and we've been working now. Anjali ma'am is extending a lot of support to us, and we are learning from each other, doing things with all the our own co-resource persons. We keep learning, and we are progressing ahead. And SQAA has become a big movement. It's a real movement in the country, which we are very, very happy about it. Anjali ma'am shared with us that almost 5,000 to 7,000 schools have already uploaded the self-reflection forms. And I think that's a very big...
Shanti ma'am, it's around 9,000 till
wow.
date. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of credit. I remember we had a lot of apprehensions when we talked about it in the initial stages, and I think it's gone. It has taken a shape. It is everybody's baby now, and I'm so happy to be part of this session on beneficiary satisfaction. So to start with, let me share the PowerPoint I have here with me. So my PowerPoint is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we are on to the 11th session. We have planned 13 sessions. We are on the 11th session on the domain 7 on beneficiary satisfaction, which we are going to go through on the SQAAF framework. And it's indeed a privilege for me to do this session for all the participants. I'm sure you will get enlightened about what is this domain about, and we will be able to take it forward. My hearty welcome to all the participants. You are with us on the journey for from 21st onwards. We started the journey on 21st July when the SQAAF framework was introduced. Incidentally, I did that session on the 21st July, and then we had our experts taking sessions. We had Kalpana ma'am, Rita ma'am, Deepa ma'am, and Manju ma'am taking you through all the various sessions till the all the other domains have been you have been given an insight into the domains. Now we are on to the 7th domain, the last domain of all the 7 domains. Not last but not the least, you are going to see how important and the significance of this domain in the SQAAF framework. You are really going to understand it at the end of it. I'm sure you will get convinced about it. We have 2 more sessions. I'm sure you will really enjoy the last 2 sessions. The next session is on policy making. You can see it here. It's the most important thing where the schools need a hand holding that will be done to you. And let's go through today's session on this. The sequence of the day today will be like this. Initially, I'll be talking about the expected outcomes. What is the outcomes that the participants can expect at the end of this 2-hour session? And we'll do a quick recap of all the other domains, and we'll try to understand how beneficiary satisfaction is connected with other domains also. And we'll go through the domain overview of the domain. What is the important aspects or the overview of the domain. You'll see in the SQAAF framework in the manual, every domain, there is a domain overview is given. Probably if you read it, you will understand it gives you the gist of what the domain is about. So we will be taking a look at that, and we'll understand the performance indicators and subdomains, the standards and the performance indicators of this particular domain. And we'll also quickly connect all the dots and check how each domain is connected with beneficiary satisfaction. And of course, we do have a very interesting simulation for all of you. That's a surprise. We will see how we are going to take you forward to that last simulation session. And then we end with a question and answers, and also share the details of the helpline with you. Please have your notebook and pen. Ask as many questions as possible in the chat box. We would love to take the questions, and we have the experts. All of them are available here today. They will answer your queries, whatever you have, what we wish to ask them. And we also believe that at the end of the session, the school leaders will be able to, the outcomes that they will be able to develop an understanding of domain 7 and its importance in enhancing the student learning outcomes. I think we have already spoken about it. The main SQAAF framework revolves around one very important thing: enhancing student learning outcome. That is the main essence of SQAA, the purpose of SQAA. And we are going to see how domain 7 can its importance in enhancing a student learning outcome. And also you will be able to develop practices of receiving feedback and feed forward from the stakeholders. We have put some examples, exemplars and all of that. So you will be able to understand how to take it forward and apply the standards in your own schools and evaluate the impact on student learning outcome. You will be able to do it, apply to take it in your own school, and utilize the feedback and feed forward data for continual improvement. This is a very most important aspect of the entire SQAAF framework is by we are doing self-reflection or you are taking a feedback and feed forward. The data collected is utilized for the improvement of the school, the continual improvement of the school, not just collect the data and shelve it, but then how we are going to utilize it. And then, of course, give a supporting hand to CBSE in developing resources for nationwide understanding and implementation of SQAAF framework. You can share the best practices in all your schools. That will be a great, support to CBSE for taking it forward. And then the anatomy of the school quality assessment and assurance framework. I'm sure you will be recalling it every session. We've been showing this because really, really, we want you not to miss any aspect of this completely. It should be clear to all the participants, so that we keep showing what is the anatomy of the school quality framework, assessment and assurance framework. This is a beautiful, you've seen it many times, the SQAAF flower with the 7 petals around it, and you can see that we are on to the 7th petal today, showing the beneficiary satisfaction and the anatomy of the school staff standards framework. I would like to repeat it again and again so that we are very clear about it. All the domains have been framed in such a way it covers the broad areas of school functioning. At the end of SQAAF, when you see it, you will understand that no activity of the school, no functioning of a school is left behind. Everything is put into the 7 domains. It's been categorized into 7 domains. And each domain has subdomains which constitute the concerned domain. And under that domain, there are subdomains which also describe the domain. And then under the subdomain, we have the standards which qualify the various aspects of the subdomain. In fact, it defines the subdomain. Every subdomain has got its own standards which defines it. And standards have assessment rubrics, performance indicators, and the 4 levels. And the 4 levels against each standard ranging from 1 to 4. What are all the practices termed as performance indicators mentioned again? Each performance level is also shown. And then when you place yourself in a particular standard, in a level 1 or level 2 or level 3 or level 4, what are the supporting document that you claim to be in that particular level that we call as the evidences and records. And in the standards, we have put all the guiding principles behind the standards are all our national education policies, the Right to Education Act, and it has been from the CBSE, NCERT manuals, all of that has been picked up, and they are the guiding principles for the standards that's been collected like this. So we are on to the 7th domain, the beneficiary satisfaction, and it has got 6 subdomains and 6 standards. It's for you to understand. It has got 6 subdomains and it's got 6 standards. It is very easy to remember. And that is the last of the domains. And you will see that it is connected with all the other domains also very, very beautifully, because SQAA as a whole, we do not look it in isolation. Each domain cannot be studied under isolation. They're all embedded together. Each one complements the other. So it has to be read as a whole. That is what is the idea about it. And also we know that we talk about the weightage except curricula, the domain 1, which is curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment, which has got 40%. All other 6 domains carry a weightage of 10%. So the beneficiary satisfaction also carries a weightage of 10% as the leadership, management, governance, inclusive practices, human resources, and infrastructure. The beneficiary satisfaction also carries only 10% compared to the domain 1, which has 40%. And this is the essence of the domain, which is very given beautifully in the SQAAF framework. School shall be successful in meeting this standard when they carry the understanding, commitment, and support of all stakeholders. So we are looking at tapping the support of all stakeholders. And school personnel need to seek opportunities for collaboration to help the institution become a hub of excellence. So we have to look at this collaboration with the stakeholders as an opportunity for the school to make our own institutions as a hub of excellence. And effective communication will foster interpersonal skills, which lead to better social skills. See that connecting between the stakeholders, it improves the communication and interpersonal skills, which I'm sure sure you'll all understand it very clearly. And the benefits of involving all stakeholders in decision making are that schools can foster collaboration with community stakeholders to support student learning and have a formal channel to listen and to communicate and productively use the knowledge and skills to enhance the work of school and improve student learning outcome. This is a very important aspect. You have to see, is there a structured channel by which any stakeholder can give in pitch in their views, pitch in their suggestions to the school. And when that happens, there is they know that they are heard, and then you'll see that it can be productively use the knowledge of the thing. And this is a very, very beautiful quote by our Mahatma Gandhi ji, when in a speech in South Africa in 1890, he has mentioned this. He says, a customer, it's very, 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 even today it applies if you really get a hang of this. It's really beautiful. This is, a customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption of our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider of our business. He is a part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing a favor by giving us the opportunity to do so. So what do you think about it? It's 1890. This has been about the customer, the stakeholders. The importance of stakeholders has been, given a insight by our Gandhiji, and this is something which I love to share with all of you. That's such a beautiful statement here. So now, before this, I also would like you to understand that today we are seeing changes happening all over us, everywhere, all around us. We are seeing changes happening, and that too in a tremendous speed. There are such a speed changes are happening all around us, and education, the field of education, is no exception, and it has a lot of human minds involved in it. And you see the impact of the mass media, the advancement of technology, and above all, the changing lifestyles of people and the mindsets of people, the changes in the mindsets of people together makes it completely an aspect that we need to understand today when we are having our own schools, to get what is the expectation of the parents today. What does the community expect us from today? The student, what is the expectation of the student from a school today? I'm sure the parents 20 years before, what they wanted, they are no longer considering that as an outcome from a school. They are looking at what are they expecting it. Are we aware of what the expectation of the parents? Are we aware having a futuristic approach in our processes and our systems in our school? So that is something, to get a hang of that, we really, really need to understand this domain plays a very, very important role. I want you to quickly put it in your chat box, some of your ideas about the significance of the domain. We are talking about stakeholder satisfaction, beneficiary satisfaction. What is your thoughts on it? What do you think? Is it is important? Is it viable to take satisfaction from the beneficiaries? What is your feel about it? How do you feel about it? Quickly put it in the chat box. I request Rita ma'am to help me to see if there are some postings coming up. I repeat the question. It's about beneficiary satisfaction. What is the significance of the domain? What is the significance of taking feedback from parents or feed forward from parents, students, the community? What is your thought about it? I just want you to share about it in the chat box. Can you quickly put in some of your thoughts? We are waiting for it. Any thought that comes to your mind when we take about taking feedback from parents, taking opinion, views from our students? What is your thought about it?
MDN Future School has written overall growth of students. Probably they mean is when there is an overall growth of students, then there is a satisfaction among students.
Okay.
And then we have Sukhwant Singh who's written, they are the ones for whom we are all working for. Very rightly said, Sukhwant. And then we have Ritu Bhatia writing, yes, it's very important to grow work better for an organization. Monica says, feedback helps us to do better and innovate. Prema says they play an important role. Azimuddin says outcome of students probably gets improved. Pramod said all leads to improvement. Virender says it helps us to improve ourselves. Seema says how to improve more, that helps us. Vibhu has just said good afternoon. Then we have it is outcome for all. Rashi says, Shabnam says it's triangle of holistic education. Meenu says to move on the same direction. Suji says happiness for all the stakeholders. Surinder, overall growth of entire systems, overall development, overall growth of students. Amandeep says can keep a check on school activities. Menon Savita says customer is king. Chakrapani says to know that path. We came to know where we lack and can improve. Pitpal says a very important good guide for improvement, to know loopholes, to strengthen a non-profit program, services, operations.
Yeah, thank you, Rita.
It's a whole lot. I'm sorry, it's still coming in.
Yeah, wonderful,
move
wonderful. Yeah, touchstone method. I mean, we're getting nice, captions like this. Customer is the king. Touchstone, somebody is saying, right? Aditya says touchstone method. So it's somewhat. So we all agree that nice to see these comments. Thank you so much. It's really wonderful to see there are such interactive participants here. So that's all about it. And you see, if you're talking about beneficiary satisfaction, if you take up curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment, we have talked about in domain 1, we mentioned about a lot of practices, how the curriculum can be handled at different levels, how pedagogy can be different for diverse needs of children. How do we know whether we are able to give the best of whatever is needed for the child? Only a beneficiary satisfaction feedbacks and feed forwards will help us to know what whether we are able to provide or give what the student is expecting, or whether the child needs more help. Even at assessment as learning, we are talking about how do we get assessment as learning or for learning? Only when we get a feedback from the child that when how they are doing it, how they are understanding it, or they need more help, or they need more clarity. That only can happen only when you take a satisfaction survey in it. So beneficiary satisfaction plays a very important role in domain 1, curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment and things. And the infrastructure, whether the inclusive, whether the conduciveness is there in the school, whether does the parent know whether the child is safe in the school? What are the safety measures that the school is taking for the child? All this depends when the parent putting the child in a school. If he chooses one of the schools among so many other, what are they expecting? How are they looking at infrastructure facilities in the school? Whether the toilets are good and clean, whether the water provided is good water, clean, good water is provided to the children. So they look at all of them. So we are talking about infrastructure. A good library is important. We are saying take safety measures. All of them will impact the satisfaction of the beneficiary. When we are talking about beneficiary, parents, students, or even teachers, if there is no proper resources available, when the teachers will find it difficult, they will have resistance if we are not giving enough resources for them to work in an organization. Do we know what do they need to go forward and teach and deliver the best to the children? Curriculum pedagogy is connected with the human resource, connected with infrastructure, and to get to know what is the requirement, we need to do a beneficiary satisfaction is very, very important for it. And inclusive practices. Are the school addressing the needs of diverse types of children, diverse needs of children? Do we have, when a parent is looking for a school, that will be the first thing the parent will be looking at. Can the school handle my child, or reject it saying that he has this little problem in the child, we cannot take it? So how are the parents looking at schools? They are looking at whether you are having all of this being encompassed into it. That is as a part of the beneficiary satisfaction surveys or the feedback mechanisms, or what do the people say. This is how the whole thing works on. You can see that this domain is connected with all the domains. Management and governance is a vision. What is the vision of the school? Is the vision is there, whether it is being penetrated into the policies, they have clear policies. And of course, leader plays is the window between the students and the parents and the community and the management and the staff. A leader plays a very, very important role. We also talked about it in the last session. Leadership is not only the principle of a school. There is a leadership becomes a culture in the school. When it becomes a culture, you will see that automatically it will be satisfying so many of the beneficiaries. They feel empowered. They feel they are responsible. They take the responsibility on their own. When you guide students, or the parents are able to involve themselves in such a beautiful manner, it becomes they get empowered. Automatically the school gets benefit. You can see that how all the domains are interconnected. That's one of the thumb rule of SQAA, is about not to look at each domain in in isolation, but you look at it as a whole, as a holistic picture of all the domains together will make a more meaningful exercise. So that's about connecting the dots. And we have the stakeholders. If you look at the stakeholders, who are all the beneficiaries? We are talking about beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries? We are having a students or beneficiaries, and they are whoever is getting the benefit out of the program that is run in a school, the education program, or whatever is happening in the school to improve the learning outcome student, and the parents who decide, who want that kind of a learning enhancement for the child, they expect it from us. So that is they become a stakeholder. Principal or person himself or herself is a important stakeholder. If the principal is happy, principal is satisfied, you will see the whole system moves in a very smoothly. It rolls out so very beautifully. And the managing committee, they have a vision with which they started the school. They have communicated the vision to the leader and the staff, and now it's been driven, and their satisfaction will communicate that the vision is penetrated into the system very, very beautifully. And we also have school advisory, the career advisors, the alumni association, and the community. We think we are doing the school very well, and I have a lot of good results and good things. Somebody is winning a prize in sports, the school is good. But what is the community looking at our school as? Is the community thinks, is it a good school? How are they rating our school? It's very, very important where the school is functioning. The people around us, how are they looking at the school as it's a good school? So taking their feedback is a very, very important thing, and joining hands with the community. We are going to see quickly when we are going through the sessions, we'll see that. And business, we do have a lot of suppliers who are supplying materials to the school, whom we have business with, our tour operators, and so many people. They are all our stakeholders. And teachers, of course, teachers, when you say staff, the teaching staff and the non-teaching staff, all of them are our stakeholders. Government, CBSE is our own stakeholder for all the schools here running with the CBSE board. So there are so many stakeholders are there. We are going to see what is the SQAA. We are going to understand the SQAA, the subdomain standards, and connection with the other domains we saw, and role in the overall improvement of the school. We are just going to take a look at it. So the domain 7, beneficiary satisfaction, has 6 subdomains. We have 6 subdomains. We are talking about student satisfaction, staff satisfaction, which includes teaching and non-teaching, and principal satisfaction, and parents and alumni, and satisfaction of the community, and satisfaction of the management. Each one has got one standard. You can evaluate yourself when you take up the self-reflection, self-review of your school, find out where your school is in. You will understand where the school is in and what needs to be done for taking this forward. So what is beneficiary satisfaction? I'm sure you have clarity on it. The people who are getting benefited from the organization, they all come under they are called as beneficiaries, and there is satisfaction in them when they are happy about it. There is a win-win situation is created for the school. This win-win situation makes it the atmosphere positive. Teachers, if they feel they are very happy in the school, it creates a win-win for the school. If the students are happy here, nowadays some schools are being even awarded happiness quotient award for this year goes to something. They consider this happiness. It's nothing but when somebody is satisfied, you can see that the person is happy, or you can function in the best possible manner. So that's beneficiary satisfaction. And who are the beneficiaries in the school ecosystem as taken up in SQAA? We just saw, we are talking about parents, students, alumni, community, staff, non-teaching and teaching staff, principal, and the managing committee, or we are seeing all of them. And why is beneficiary satisfaction important? We are going to see that, and how do we measure it, and how often we can do it. So why it is important? The benefits are the school's faster collaboration with stakeholders to support student learning. We are utilizing everybody as a resource. We saw in the human resource, we talked about it, how each one can become a resource to the school. Parents can become a resource to the school. When parents become a resource to the school, you see that you will get tremendous support from the parents, because they have their own expertise and all of that. So how you foster a collaboration with the stakeholders to support student learning? You have to have a collaboration with the parents, with the community. It helps when you have, take this forward. You have a support from the entire set of stakeholders. That is one of the very important advantage of taking beneficiary satisfaction. periodically taking views from them is a very, very important thing. And have a formal channel to listen to and communicate to. You see, there should be a structured way where the parents are able to walk in and give their own feedback or the feed forward or their views on certain things, their suggestions on something. There should be people who are able to listen to what the parents have to say. See, that itself is a very, very big advantage to the school. Normally, people are in a hurry. They don't want to listen to them. And then, they have a lot of, blocked up things in their own mind. They want to say something, but they don't know how to do it because there is no structure in it. So structuring it is very, very important. And also able to communicate to. They must be able to have the freedom to talk to about, able to communicate. School also is able to develop that conversation and productively use the data to enhance the school processes and improve student learning outcome. This is something very, very important. We take, a lot of feedback mechanisms are there in some of the schools. We have feed forward mechanisms. They call it a suggestion box. We are going to see them, all of them. But when will it become active? When will it become a system in the school? Only when it is opened, these boxes are opened and we look into the suggestions and some action is taken. There is a box and nobody touches it, nobody opens it, or nobody uses the suggestions given, it will have its automatically, it will die away. It will not be a ongoing process. We can't talk about continual growth to the school. So use the data collected should be used for the school's processes and improve student learning outcome. You will see in many domains we are talking about it. We say the school uses the data for its improvement. That's something you will see in almost every domain. One of the performance indicators is that. So the data should be utilized. It's not that we have to consider everything that is suggested. Whatever is valuable, whatever is will add addition, will make an impact, should be attended to that. And modes of feedback and feed forward mechanisms. Some of the suggestion box, some people call it as idea box. In some schools, they call it as complaint box also. But whatever is where the parents and they can be allowed, they should be, parents should have access to it. Students should have an access to it. And they should know that there should be a process. Suggestion box process should be there when it will be open. It should be indicated clearly. It will be opened on every Saturday or once in a month, first Sunday, first Saturday of the month, or whatever is according to the convenience. When is the time of opening? All that should be there. Otherwise, it is of no value because it should become a system. And how are you going to address it? That's again a very big important thing, that there is a school which does it on every last Wednesday of the month. All the suggestions given in the box will be opened and read in the assembly. And sometimes they will say, oh, this has been asked by some of the students. This is possible. We will look into it. We will handle this. Or something they are asking, which is not possible. They explain, sorry, this may not be possible because it will hinder the school's functioning. Or that kind of a session is taken by the principal in the assembly, which is a wonderful thing to do, so that they know. And you'll see such boxes, suggestion boxes will become flourish, and more good ideas will come in the boxes. The more you attend to it, the more it will come. And then the feedback registers, where people write the feedback. They come to the exhibition, school is doing an exhibition, feedback registers are painted. Again, it should be shared with the students, teachers, and it should be addressed also. Thank back the parents whom we are giving the feedback, suggestions are given by them. Are we taking it back to them saying, you did this, you gave this suggestion and we have implemented it forward? Or somebody is appreciating, you give a thanks message. It all comes as a part of the system. And visitors book, when visitors come to the school, they write visitors books. And reflection sheets are there. We are going to see how the reflection sheets and testimonials, video, text messages, emails coming to the principal or to the manager of the school about it. All of that need to be addressed. And their ICT, the Google Forms, MS Forms can be forwarded after the annual day program. The Google Forms can be forwarded to all the parents and can be, compiled and then presented to the students, or put it in the website so that the people know what they are giving they are being heard. That's something very interesting. And some schools even do open house sessions, open house forums, where they call the representatives from parents, students, teachers, and they sit together. Sometimes only for parents, all of them together in whichever way. And in a month 3 times, or in a year 3 times, they do it monthly once, whatever, where they are allowed to speak. And then you'll see that only when we do such things, people will feel, yes, we are heard, we are able to give our suggestions in that. This is a ladder of feedback. What needs clarity more, what adds value after a session is done. You can suggest what could be the concerns, which part we do not understand, what added value to me. I attended this session, value. The ladder of feedback is something. And some schools even conduct surveys, the school climate surveys, mental health surveys, asking children, are you happy? What are you at times? When do you feel concerned? When do you feel worried? These kind of surveys can be conducted among students and collected again for studying and compiling it. Course satisfaction surveys, I put in a sample here, where the teachers, faculty evaluation surveys are conducted. We say teachers are highly competent in the subject. The school can conduct a survey like this with the senior students, or the students who can handle this kind of a survey forms can be done, and the survey should be compiled and presented it to the teachers. So people will not have any resistance to accept comments and views and critical assessments of the whatever they are doing in the school. This is also something very interesting. In a primary class, it is conducted, and then they give it to the children, say that when are you happy, when are you sad, are you hungry, are you worried about it. The homework, after giving the homework, they take a feedback. They ask children to show a card. They say we are worried or we are excited. Things like that. Even at a kindergarten level, feedback matters. How their emotions are, how they are happy, whether they are happy or not, whether they are sad or not, this kind of thing. And after a collaborative task is given, we give collaborative work, group work we give. It is important we give reflection forms to the students or the teachers to work with, and who worked with the children, and give an analysis of that. What went well? What could have gone better? Did I learn any new skills? When I get a new knowledge, anything I gained by doing this project together, did I gain any knowledge? Or how can we improve in the next collaborative task? It should be collected from because normally 8-7 students are put together and they take up a task, and then they do the work task, and then the teacher gives everybody equally 5 marks, or 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, not really knowing who has contributed what. And honestly, if children do a reflection form like this, the feedback can be taken even in reflection forms by students. That will give an add to the collaborative task, how we can effectively conduct the collaborative work.
Shanti ma'am,
Yes.
Shanti ma'am,
Yeah.
somebody wanted you to show the Pinapani dash, the feedback ladder slide.
Which one?
The feedback ladder that you had shown.
Ladder of feedback.
Ladder one.
Okay. It will take some time to come. I'm just showing it again.
Yeah.
It's about when a session is conducted, you want some clarification, which aspect of it you want to clarify, what added value to you, what are the concerns, what are your suggestions. This is the ladder of feedback. Normally, when people conduct sessions and all of that, they take it from people after the participants so that they get a hang of this. Yeah, this is the ladder of feedback. Yes? Yeah, can I move on now? Yeah. So this is about it. Now, I again want you to participate now. At times, we find feedback mechanisms are not very sound in our schools. We don't have popular in our schools. What are the challenges? Why feedback mechanisms are not very popular in our schools? Can you put it in the chat box? I'll repeat the task. It is about why at times the feedback mechanisms are not popular in our schools. What are the challenges? Why are we not taking feedback as often as we should take it? Because today, as you're writing, I would also like to tell you that today rating has become such an important thing in the society today. You want to buy something, you want to see how is it rated. You want to go to a hotel, you want to see how is it rated. You want to, go for a movie, you want to see how it is rated. Everything we look for, a flight or a train, everything we look at what is the feedback, how people are rating it. Why schools are not very popular in taking feedback mechanisms. Quickly, 4-5 people can put it so that we can go forward and do that. Why we are not sometimes, Rita ma'am, can you help?
APS SR says sometimes few parents become unresponsive. So basically the lack of response from parents is what she highlights. And then she says it gives true picture and truth is not appreciated always. So probably the schools are not taking it in a right spirit.
Correct.
And waiting for more. Shweta says parents misuse this feedback form.
Correct.
We need to understand how it is misused. Prema says maybe human respect. I don't know what she means by this. Probably she says that if the human respect the respect element is missing in the feedback, maybe that is when we shut the door or eyes and ears. So, KBDAV school says fear of being judged, unkind words. Then Meenu says to avoid more interference. Shyam says committee is not ready for giving feedback. Shanu says it is not appreciated sometimes. Chakrapani says lack of probably something she wanted to write among parents. Surinder says parents doesn't show their interest. Then Vipin says time consuming, less resources. Shyam says it could be illiteracy. Monica says feedback may be distorted. Meenu feels it may be time wastage. Renu says students are not able to rate objectively. Popular teachers may be ranked higher. I understand your take, Renu. Bipavani says we won't take some but needs management support. They want to do it, but management should support them. Fear of defamation if parents say something untoward. Yeah, they continue. You can. You want more? I have more.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. There's a lot of response there. It's very, very, very heartening to see you are all interacting so very beautifully. You see, one is I have only one precise answer for some of you where we are saying parents may misuse or they can not responsive or people normally criticize and things like that. Once these are the challenges when you start it. But once it is started, once the flow is there, when the people feel that it is a opportunity not to be misused by us, that kind of an education to the parents should be given. We should have sessions for them and tell them that we are engaging them in the growth of the school. That kind of a communication happens. Then I'm sure slowly and steadily it will improve. We cannot think of the challenges that we'll face as maybe if the parents come, she will fight that why so much of fee is charged, or the teachers come, they want more salary. These things there will be there, not to worry about it. Qualitative, once you address some of these issues in your own way, communicating to them well or listening to them well, you bring in a mechanism that we are talking about the quality of the program, we are talking about the quality of what is done in school. Slowly, I'm sure they'll come around the corner and you will be able to implement it in a very, very beautifully in a school. I think we should attempt it. It is some area where it is not fully, mechanisms are not popular in our schools. We all agree, but we need to see how we can attempt to make it a positive towards the positive way we should think about it. And what makes the stakeholders happy? Initially, we make them participate. From them, then they attend the programs, participating in the school events and things like that. Slowly, we can engage them to involve them in the school, involve them in the activity. They take roles and then they involve, and finally they engage themselves in it. It becomes their own activity. They take it up in such a beautiful way. They engage themselves in a wonderful manner. They come out with the new suggestions, come out with a new platform. That is what will make the beneficiaries happy. We are looking at it, not just involving them, but also making them engage them fully so that we can look at it. So we are quickly going to go through the 6 subdomains. One is first the satisfaction of the students. I'm not showing the various, this is the performance indicators are there. The documents I have not shown here. You can refer to the SQAAF framework to understand this. So if we can see any method by which you are doing, if you can share in the chat box, please, it will be very good. What is the mechanism you have in your school to students give a fair feedback, which you can implement in your school? Any inputs you can give. I'll repeat it once again. Share any one of your best practices, how students give feedback in your own organization that you have implemented to enhance the student learning outcome. Any one best practice, because of that student's feedback, you have done this. Can you give any one of them? Any one of the best practices?
Shweta Sharma says they use Google Form to take feedback. So that's a tool that they are using.
Yeah, they're giving us a tool. Fine. So anyway, I'll go ahead, Rita. I think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead with that. So now we are going to see some of the exemplars that to understand what makes students satisfied and happy. When do students become happy and satisfied? You can see that when they take the responsibilities, when the school leaders tell them that now look at the students at the gate when the children are left, there so much of traffic outside. Can you help the school? And you'll see that the student volunteers take ownership of that. You can see that they are involved in settling down, making children control the traffic after the school hours. These kind of responsibilities make them empowered. When students are empowered, automatically they will be leadership skills in them are nurtured, and they will become a joyful students of the school. And this is something very beautiful. I really loved it. The art classes in one of the school is conducted in the near the garden of the school. The children go there and sit down, and the best of art forms are produced there, and the children say we really love our art classes. So this makes children who have we are very good at art, they feel really happy how to make diverse children engage in the activities of the school. This is one of the example where we talked about it in the art education getting embedded into the school curriculum in the third domain. Here you can see that beautifully finest of art works are produced by students, and these children really will remember it, and they are going to be very happy about it when they go back. And taking ownership and doing tech talks by students. If one of the school is organizing, I've captured it from different schools, different wonderful things that they are doing. TED talks given by the students, and the whole audience sitting there and watching them do that. They learn a lot of skills in that. Basically, when skills are nurtured in children, they really become happy because they carry it for their life long. When skills are nurtured in children, whether it is an art skill or a music skill or a dramatic skill, you will see that even with a skill in mathematics or in language, it leaves a child with a lot of joy in the child, that he really will be happy and satisfied with that. And this is something which are interesting few things I wanted to share. When I did I collectively spoke to different people before doing this session, and one school said the children were all the time saying that the timetable is not interesting. So the school gave them opportunity. They said, you make the timetable for one day. And they say it was such a lot of fun was there. There was music, there was art, there were physical education, and some maths was also there. But it was a joyful timetable for them. And they said that we really enjoyed making it, and the school followed it for one day. That day it was students' timetable that was followed it. And then other school was also, as I told you, empowering the students make a lot of ownership in the school, and a lot of joy comes to the children. One school did a lot of initiative, not wasting water, and they guided junior children that every day you have to put the whatever leftover water in the bottle, go and plant the garden. There are pots kept there, you have to pot. So some initiative like this was taken. And this is another very beautiful initiative one of the school is doing. The girls together, they have formed a group called as Girls Subgroup, and they are run by the students only, and they discuss issues of girls in the society. They come, they deliberate weekly once, they meet after school hours. Some teacher also supervises it, and they talk about these issues. They take up a newspaper item, they say this has happened in this part of the country, how this happens, why girls are being meek in that, why they should stand up for themselves, and things like that. And they also appreciate some of the women who are working very well at the top of the women pilots. They talk about the history of the autobiography of a woman pilot and things like that. They share in the forum. This is something they have a lot of joy. They are empowered. Empowerment gives a lot of joyful thing for that. So this is this. And there was one particular thing, this again I showed you. If you see at the level 2, the transient level, there is an informal method of assessing satisfaction of the students. When a school did a review of that, it took a 4-hour help, and they did a review. They felt that there is no system of informal feedback mechanism in the school, so they wanted to develop it. So they took up an improvement plan. They assessed it. First of all, they reviewed it. They said, are there school any methods of taking informal feedback? Are the teachers able to connect with students informally to get their regular feedback and feed forward? Is the school providing a transparent atmosphere that the students talk freely with the teachers and leaders? Are they able to communicate openly, freely? And when they did the review, they clearly understood school is currently at the inception level. There is not much of interaction happening between teachers and students, or the principal and the teachers, students. So they said we must have a transparent communication system by which the students can give their voice, their opinion freely. So, and they decided we will at least go to the aspiration level. You know that in SQAAF framework, if you want to be in third level 3, you have to be at level 1 and level 2, and then only go to level 3 also. So they decided at level 2 we are missing this informal method of assessing the satisfaction is not in our school. So they decided to prepare an improvement plan, and then they also evaluated how the plan worked later. So this is the improvement plan they worked. They said 7.1.1 inception, at the level of inception, they want to go to the aspirational level of 3, and then they decided the area of improvement will be informal feedback from students. They put it on a high priority, and then the teachers, the proposed action was discussed with teachers to interact with students informally, understand their need and satisfaction level. When do they do it? During lunchtime, in the sports field, after school hours, in the class teachers, subject teachers will interact with the students, all of them. Anybody can communicate with the students. And at least it was decided one discussion per teacher will be done within the next 2 weeks. They decided on it. And the findings, they would be recorded as feedback documents. Anecdotal records were prepared by the teachers with immediate effect. Once they do a discussion, informal discussion, they prepared the anecdotal record. And based on the records, few suggestions were taken up by the principal and the head of the departments. They worked together, and that was shared to the students through the council or the assembly in the. So how the improvement plan was prepared, how it improved the school to meet that particular level. Then the second subdomain, moving on further, we have is the staff satisfaction. Staff, we are talking about admin staff as well as that. For staff satisfaction, there's only one very important thing. They have to be motivated. And there are 2 types of motivation we are talking about. One is extrinsic motivation. Another one is intrinsic motivation. We are talking how to motivate teachers. If a teacher is motivated on her own, you will see that on his own, you will see that the performance becomes happy, and that person finds joy in whatever they are doing. There is nothing additional required to have them satisfied or happy in the school. So automatically they will be. So we are looking at extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. What about the attributes of it? Internal. Intrinsic is driven from within. I have my responsibility. These children are under my care. I have to do whatever is needed for them. This is my responsibility. It's driven from within. And there is a deeper purpose of fulfillment. When you're working with a particular child, and if the child has started doing well, it gives a complete satisfaction and fulfillment. And doing it for the right reasons. It is doing it for the right reasons and loving the process. Even working on the process, one is very, very happy to do it. And alignment with my own value. I am a person who is compassionate, who is kind, and I know it's my responsibility to reach, so I am doing it. So it is completely all driven from within. And I have my vision for the future. I want this child to come out and be successful in life. And against that, you will see it driven externally. It's at the surface level. You want like the likes on the social media, what you get, or there's a only focus on the end result. I'll make her somehow get the marks or somehow do this. Not really looking at the process, how to work with this. Only seeing how it is affects your present. And the stimulators, external stimulators, or you keep monitoring it. You keep you looking at the condition. This is not there. That is not there for me to work. Nobody is giving me a computer, or this is not happening in the school. My co-worker is like this. You expect support from everybody if you are driven externally. You look at the salary, you look at my job security, what is the status in the school, am I respected? All of these are the stimulators that one expects if you are externally driven. And for internally driven, you feel a sense of accomplishment. It's more from within to do. You are feeling whether your recognition, you are being recognized, positive or negative, you understand, you're taking responsibility, and you have a joy in your work by itself. You're not looking at anything else. It gives you a joy. These are the internal stimulators. And a leader can motivate staff. A principal, if he is a patient listener, you will see most of the issues are addressed when the principal listens by sharing the vision. What is the vision? Sharing by using motivating words, by right body language. The principal, the very, very purpose when a staff comes into your office, how you handle yourself, your body language, your gestures, everything will motivate the staff members. You are giving a keen listener. Teacher is saying something, you are paying attention, or you are doing something in your pen and paper in the file, something, and then casually attending to it, sets it the motivation or not, it will have automatically, you will understand, and individually help teachers to set their own goals. And these are some beautiful statements which I picked up, which says clearly, talking, when a leader talks, you can talk about, you have improved a great deal, a fantastic way of doing things, you are so talented, working with you has been a pleasure, have you ever tried saying such things, you are perfect just the way you are. And this is a beautiful statement, come on, let's do it together. The moment the leader says that, you will see the principal teacher is motivated to a big extent, and you are a lot of fun to work with. You are perfect for the job. I always knew you had it in you. You have amazing potential. You almost did it. Come on, try it a little more. You will succeed. It's not difficult. Come on, let's do. These are the motivators which, very, very interestingly, it works amazingly, works magic on the teachers. They will be satisfied and, with that. And the principal satisfaction is something which is, the way the principal organizes her work, the principal takes the responsibility of the school is also the thing. As a principal makes happy, what makes me happy? If I am a principal, what makes me happy? We will look at whether there are opportunities to grow and evolve. Am I becoming a better person, better leader? Is the management giving me free hand to bring in new initiatives? Is the ability to feel that am I making any difference to the education of the children in the school, educational scenario? Am I producing children with good human behavior, visibility, and the recognition of the school and the self? Is it the school being looked up as a good school in this community, society? And am I intrinsically motivated? It's very important for the principal. Number of admissions as vacancies. Visible progress in the performance of the learning outcomes of the students. Your students becoming speakers, your students becoming sportsmen, your becoming musicians, your students becoming a great social worker. Politicians, great politicians, everything gives you the learning, visible progress of the students. And low attrition of staff and students also makes a principal happy. Strong, well-managed system, complaint addresses. There will be conflicts because human are there. There will be conflicts in a school. There will be little issues in the school. How quickly you respond to it, how quickly you address it, not, covering it up, patching it up, but you are really openly, transparently working on it. And you're also very sure that I have a lot of support from stakeholders. That feeling itself makes a principal very, very happy. That precisely I have put it. And then the fourth domain is about the parents and the alumni. When will the parent and the alumni be happy? We are going to see that. We have to reflect on this question. Are my parents happy with the school? What are we doing? Are they participating? Are they, is there some of the schools, I know of a school which when the children join in the nursery classes, kindergarten classes, the teachers visit their parents' place to find out the background of the child, where are they from, to help the child in the right manner. Home visits are conducted by teachers. Enrichment. Today, people are looking at the various processes and methods to reach out to the parents. Parents education workshops are conducted. I know of a school which addresses parents taking up issues, nothing connected with children, nothing connected with the particular parents, but talk of the general issues. They talked about national education policy. They talked about how, parenting is good. What does happen if media is not used properly? All of that is shared. Knowledge sessions are conducted with parents to educate them. So they feel, they feel honored for it, and they really feel good about attending such general sessions. And what about the alumni? How do alumni feel after graduating from my school? How do they feel after graduating my school? These are parents and alumni are put together in the SQAAF framework, and you can see that assessing them is also play an important role. This is again a case where you can see that parents are volunteering. These are all happy parents. Then only parents will come forward to participate. Now they are taking the responsibility for conducting the traffic, for regulating the traffic after school hours. And this is a very beautiful quote by our John F. Kennedy. He says that the success of any school can be measured by the contribution of the alumni make to our national life. You have to understand what they are contributing to the nation. If they are contributing in a big way, that is a grand success for the school. That's something very interesting for us to know. We have to keep a track of alumni trackers. What are they doing? What are they doing? Where are they right now? How are they contributing? which will help us to evaluate the education program in the school is appropriate or not. So alumni trackers are very good. Can they be made contributors? The purpose of education is to transform a child so that when he goes out, he transforms the society. How do we do that? So you have to think about the school education program. If it addresses that, you will see by and large the alumni, when they leave out, they'll never forget the school. They'll be really indebted to the school. Alumni reunions can be organized. So how to do a tracker? You can release publications by the alumni. Alumni participation in school events. Alumni interaction with students. They can guide students on career counseling. They can help students if some child is in another part of the world and one child from the school wants to go there and study. He can do a hand holding to help the students of our own school. Alumni engagement as volunteers for the school activities. Some schools involve alumni to do the flag hoisting on Independence Day. And the alumni gives a talk to the students. It's happening in one particular school, they give the Distinguished Alumni Award. One school is giving an award to the Samaritan Award, one who is contributing to the society in very, very big way. He's going and doing service. He's changing the world in a very big manner, contributing selfless service that is being awarded. So it projects the school in a very, very beautiful manner. Our school website should talk about all the achievements of the alumni in a big way. And this is something very beautiful. I have hidden the school's name and all of the thing here. The testimonials received from two of the universities, one from the Hong Kong University. It says that the child is doing exceptionally well in our university here. I appreciate the school foundations provided by your school, which has played a significant role in the success of the student. And here is another one. It's local from the Mumbai University of ISME, the management organization there, economics, and Indian School of Management and Entrepreneurship has sent a letter to the principal of the school, something very beautiful. It is testimonial saying that she is an exceptional student, a delightful combination of creativity, passion, and enthusiasm. And she is one of the most model student in every aspect. Do you think that there'd be any better way to talk about the school? I think it's a wonderful way. This came on its own. This was when I was asking for some documents. Some school said, "Can I give you this? This is something very beautiful." We received from that. And then we have so something very interesting for us to know when our product, when they go out, how they are impacting in the society is something very interesting for us to see. And then the fifth subdomain is the community. What is the community is looking at it? That's something we may do a lot of work, but we are serving in that particular area or the locality of this where the school is located is very important. We need to take some of the aspects of the thing. These are all companies in a nearby place in one of the schools. They go and visit. The community is happy to receive the students and show a tire company, a software company, a knitting company. And you can see that the agricultural university is there in one of the places where they invited the student, and psychology students were invited to the rehabilitation center to visit the thing. So these are all community wants to share the resources to the school, and we should be able to visit them and see that what they are doing, how they are doing, and give a support to them in our own big way. So there are many ways we can have the outreach programs, can adapt a nearby school which requires support. If there is a tribal school or a school which requires support in nearby villages, we can have a collaboration with an NGO organization and work in the educating. We can go and educate them about create a drug awareness program or alcohol or smoking, how it is injurious. We can conduct this kind of education. And sanitation, we can talk to them about water and sanitation, how it is important. Allowing the campus for community service initiatives. I know of a school which has completely kept it open during the corona time for the vaccination. The school was kept open throughout 2-3 months. It was kept open where people could come and take a vaccination in the school. So providing such kind of activities in the school initiatives is very, very essential to have collaborating it positively with the community outside. And there is a school which I would love to share about this. They have a huge library with some huge number of books, and the library has a different gate outside through which parents come, the community comes and sits and studies uses the library books in the evenings. And they have a special part-time librarian who comes after 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. It's amazing. I think I should really felt excited when I heard about what the school is doing for the community around. We are giving a hand to the community to also to grow along with us, and eco-friendly measures for the community, plantation, tree plantation, or painting of a temple nearby. All these activities should be taken. Rallies for educating hygiene measures, building toilets. Toilets were built by a group of 3 schools together in the nearby village. They did not have toilets there, and that was helped. Participating in the community festivities is something which will make a win-win situation where you are operating your school from. This is very important. The community is not in being taken care. You're going to see that it's not going to be a healthy situation. And the last subdomain is the satisfaction of the management, which we are going to see. The management of the school, what can they do? How can they be happy themselves? First of all, they have to take time and conduct regular meetings with the principal and staff, get updated with what all the school is doing, and then appreciate them. Give them that appreciation if good things are happening, and give them, praise the people, teachers, if they are getting good results, they are appreciating. The regular meetings will help for a management. And evaluate whether the school is penetrated. As and when they visit the school, they will get an idea whether the vision is penetrated in the school, and contribute for that vision penetration in their beautiful way. And support with the infrastructure conducive to learning. They have to ensure that whatever is possible, time and again, periodically, infrastructure should be improved. They cannot have furniture which was 40 years before, and then the chairs are broken, and all that will not talk healthy, and they automatically, it will impact the school, and the management themselves will not be happy about it later. Help in connecting with the community. They could connect with the community as a management. They could do that. Being futuristic in the approach, especially in terms of technology, bringing in technology. They should be able to give a free hand to the school to update the existing commissions, and see that good amount of investment is needed for that. If a management is futuristic about it, they'll really take a look at that. Now the AI is being the talk of the everywhere they are talking about artificial intelligence is going to penetrate into the education system. How prepared are we? The management has to take a lead and guide the principal and the staff members to ensure that they take the right thing. And they should be always happy about to give the team to try out new things, try out innovative ideas, try about, like I mentioned about a honesty shop. If the school is allowed to do things like that, innovative things, I'm sure there will be a lot more things that can happen in a school. But the silent support of the management will help the school. And when the school flourishes, automatically the satisfaction of the management will be there. And do not hesitate to appreciate, acknowledge the efforts of the team. That's a big line now. That is something which we can look at it. So these are all the 7 domains we have seen and all of that. Now we are going to do a kind of a simulation here, kind of a role play here. I'm going to stop sharing my PowerPoint, and we are going to have our Kalpana ma'am. I'm going to take the role of I'm the principal of a school, and I have this practice in my school that at least 3 or 4 times in a year I conduct open meetings with the various stakeholders, call a few of them, call us representatives of each aspect, parents, community member, student, staff member, and we have a lot of dialogues. We have interaction with among ourselves. So we are going to do that. We have Kalpana ma'am doing the role of a parent, and we have a community member is now she's representing, Deepa ma'am is representing the community member, and we have a Manju ma'am representing the student, and Rita ma'am representing a staff member. So let us have a small meeting here. I'm sure you'll all enjoy the session. I hope everybody, can we wait for our screen to be visible at that? And we have Rita ma'am is here. Deepa ma'am, can you switch on your video, Deepa ma'am? So we are just going to have a small kind of a meeting here where we are going to listen to people. Good evening and welcome to all of you. It's wonderful you've all taken time here and be here for our session. Anjani ma'am, can it not be pinned to me? Let everybody be available. Is it possible, the screen? I think I've been pinned here. If it is possible, you can do that. So it's wonderful to see we have Manju here. Manju, how do you feel? How are you feeling?
Afternoon, ma'am. How are you, Shanti, ma'am?
Good, good.
Thank
all
you for
good.
inviting me to the session.
Yes. And Kalpana ma'am is a representative, parent representative here. Kalpana ma'am, it's very kind of you to have taken time and being with us for this
Thank you,
here.
ma'am. A pleasure. I always
I
look
heard
forward.
you are from London and you have come all the way. Thank you so much for being
I
with
look
us.
forward to having tea with you as always.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And Rita ma'am is our energetic staff member who is here. Welcome, Rita ma'am. And
Thank you, ma'am. It will be nice to have tea in your room today and not in the staff room.
yes. All right. And Deepa ma'am is from our nearby community. She has come. She's been silently witnessing whatever is happening in the school, outside the school. Welcome, Deepa ma'am. You've been wonderful to have all of you here. So we have this forum here to understand how we are all performing, anything that needs to be aligned, or any issues you have which you wanted to share, we can go ahead and we can discuss it. Can we start with Kalpana ma'am? Can we have the session, ma'am?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shanti ma'am. Really a pleasure again to be with you. I think it's a very ongoing process that continues throughout the year. So, and I'm happy that you've invited me also as a representative. My children have been studying in the school for the last, I think, 6, 7 years. And before that, we've changed about 3, 4 schools. And why probably we've stuck around is the quick response time that I notice in the school. So in terms of, you had asked any feedback, feed forward. So in terms of feedback, it's been a very enjoyable journey in the school, especially with regard to any suggestions that, at times my wife is a very critical kind of a, person there. And well, I'm supposed to be the husband, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's a great critique of the school, and she has 101 problems every day, and most of them are addressed.
Kalpana sir, I am your wife's class teacher. I'm your child's
Okay.
class teacher. I've
Okay.
experienced her,
Thank
but
you.
she's very productive in her points that she gives.
And I think the whole philosophy that runs in the school is, see, challenges will happen in any school. Problems will always be there. So I had transport issues. My child was not being dropped at the point there. And can you imagine that Rita ma'am, she took me along in that bus route and showed me why my child could not be dropped at that particular point because of the various safety reasons, etc. So I'm really happy with that. Yes, of course. One of the PTMs, I put across the point that the toilets were not very clean, and after that, I've been attending and seeing that the toilets are spick and span. And there's always someone there, and I keep asking my kids also, and they feel that the toilets are very clean. At one point of time, my daughter was very unwell, and the quick actions that were taken, she was traveling in the bus, and everyone knew what was to be done, right? So that was something which was very heartening. uh, yes, there, as I said, the challenges are there. I would really want that our school makes a mark, and that it has an image in the vicinity. I still feel that we've not reached the level of XYZ school, right? So I do hope that we can also learn their best practices, benchmark best practices, and in the coming times to come, we can all collaborate together and build up that image of the school. I love the faculty, and I believe that they undergo a lot of capacity building programs, and which shows in the way the children are very happy coming to school. So when they were young, they never wanted to miss the school, and as they are growing older, they come back and tell me not to waste water, to switch off the car ignition key when we are at a traffic light. So I feel happy. I only hope that they also do well in the board exams, and they do well there. That's something I would also look for. My child is very good in music, but yes, I do hope that it is balanced by the school. So
Thank you so much, Kalpana. So actually, we have noted down all the points that you mentioned it, and we strive to see how we can improve ourselves. And points are well taken. We will look at it, and you will see slowly we will reach to that status. We can all work together. I'm sure we will be able to reach the even bypass your expectation of the doing better than the XYZ school. That's
Thank
what I think I have aspiration for other school. Thank
So,
you
ma'am,
so
I'll
much.
send you a mail. I'll send you a mail with all my, observations. And yes, if you can look at the fee structure also, it's a little on the higher side. Yeah.
Yeah, we will take a look at it, but you look at the various aspects. There's a committee which looks at the fee structure and all of that. We'll definitely take a look at it. Whatever best is possible, we will do it. And you have my phone number as well as mail ID. You are
Yes.
please most welcome to give us suggestions and for anything for the improvement of the school. I will really appreciate it. Thank you
And
so
I'm
much.
so sorry, Shanti ma'am, for calling you at 6 a.m. in the morning because the bus had not reached and you immediately responded. But I'm sorry I woke
It's
you
our
up.
duty, ma'am. We realize it's our responsibility and duty. I think you need not thank me for that. Thank you. Then can we listen to the teacher representative, ma'am? Would you comment anything about it, Rita, ma'am? You're muted, Rita. You're muted.
I'm about 1.5 years old in this school, and I like to really appreciate the kind of learning curve, the way it has really gone up in these 1.5 years. Starting from the very beginning, when I spotted the advertisement for this particular school, the job description which sought the teacher for this particular school was so well described. So from the very minute that I laid my eyes on that advertisement, I knew what was my job structure, whether I was, a good fit for that job or not. So just doing like TGT science or something like that somehow leaves a very vague when you mention over there that the knowledge of team platform, or when you mention that Google Doc usage, I knew that technology is being used at the fullest in the school, in these school processes. So I was very happy because I began as an IT teacher and later I turned to be maths teacher. And I was very happy that both my skill sets would be utilized over here. And when I came in, of course, there were certain challenges because I was used to Zoom platform. I did not know the Teams platform. The way the hand holding happened in this school, it was very easy for me to come onto the Teams platform for conducting hybrid classes in the school. And ma'am, particularly what I liked about when you set up a buddy for me, that lady who was with me not only helped me how to structure the lesson plans in the school, she also told me where the washroom was, where the wet canteen was, and where I could probably have my tea from when it was not being served in the staff room, no, in the non-interval times. So all that has really helped me. And I remember last year, since I had an experience of setting up timetables in the previous school, you did use that skill of mine and you put me in the timetable. And this year, when the session began, I walked up to you, say, ma'am, I've had enough experience of timetable. Can I be given an exposure in the examination department? Of course, you didn't make me the exam head, but you definitely put me in the committee, knowing well enough that probably I had that potential, but I was not there yet. So the committee head, the examination in charge, has really been grooming us. And what we learn, not just, what I've observed is I'm not just learning from you. I'm learning from my head of department. I'm learning from my exam head. I'm learning from the timetable head. So there are multiple level of leaders that I see in this school, and I think it's all thanks to you and your leadership that everybody is kind of heading their own department and I've seen a whole lot of cross postings. Like 1 year somebody was in this department, next year I see them in the different department. It tells me that whole lot of principals are probably being groomed in your school, and I feel rested that yes, our career growth is also being paid attention to. And when Kalpana, my Mrs. When Mr. Kalpana approached us about that bus issue, I remember how she may be appreciating us, but I think the appreciation should go to you because the way it was, the entire response was executed, and the way you were open about everybody's feedback and the way we actually looked into that. Let me tell you, Mr. Kapoor, it is because everybody, whether a person is in the bus or the person is in the first aid room or the person is in the class, we all know what is a response team is expected to. The protocols are very well written, and at various places they're even pasted in the classrooms and in the labs, etc. So everybody is kind of aware of what they're expected to in a certain conditions. And yeah, yesterday only one of my friends came back from 15-year-long service award. When she returned, she was so happy how management kind of not just gave the check to her, and how the entire presentation was created in that award ceremony, talking about the entire journey of hers in 15 years award, a long service award. So I actually, it seems that I'm going to retire from this school. Thank you for making it so good for us.
Thank you, Rita, ma'am. That was very nice, getting to understand. I'm very happy that the mentors have helped you so much, and that's what it's supposed to be. And you've been given a kind nice support by the mentors in the complete process of your settling down. And of course, the team is good. That's why the school is good. We still have to go a long way. Probably we'll look at the areas where we can do improvement. And you have a fantastic potential. I'm sure you can, even you'll grow in leaps and bounds as you grow up in your career. Best wishes are there with you too. Fine. Yes, we have Manju. How are you, Manju? He's our dear student. Yes.
Shanti ma'am, most people would say that they were very scared to enter their principal's cabin. But I want to tell all those who are listening today that our principal is the best principal ever. Her doors were always open, and we were waiting to, with a reason to go and meet her. This is my 15th year in the school. I joined in nursery, and the first day when my mom left me at the gate of the school and I had tears in my eyes sending her off, Shanti ma'am was standing there, and I remember holding her finger and walking into nursery classroom. And since then, I've always woken up every morning thinking that, I'm going to go to my first home, because my parents changed 4 or 5 homes in our stay, but school and Shanti ma'am and a lot of teachers remained the same. So thank you, Shanti ma'am. Shanti ma'am, also thank you for making me the student representative today, because all students could not come. But I am also representing Nirvana, my friend who's a person with autism, and whom you took when all other schools had refused. And today with me, she's doing science and I'm doing humanities in 12th. And she has got all the support that she needed. And in fact, I'm sure she will crack the NEET examination because she wants to be a doctor. So, from allowing her the time, the space, the additional support that she needed, getting her the exemptions and the accommodations, her journey, and making all of us sensitive to her inclusive needs, her special needs also helps. So Nirvana wants to say a big thank you. I'm also representing my brother who is in the United States, who is doing his PhD. And he wanted to say that all that he is today, he is the president of the college union. The experience and the training came from school. Having a prefectorial board at primary and then at high school, and he was the head boy both times. He said, Shanti ma'am gave us the freedom to have a voice and to lead school events and organize events. So all my entrepreneur skills, I got it from there. But this year, Shanti ma'am, one of the requests that we had placed last year as a student body was we wanted life skills. In 11th and 12th, life skills was taken away. But with Rita ma'am and the others coming in, it has been reinstated. So I'd like to thank you for that, because we think it is very important in our 2 years of stress. Life skills is very important. Also, our request that PE periods and other periods not be taken away to complete syllabus has been stuck to, and we are happy to do extra classes online either in the evenings or on Sundays, as long as we get our time to play and sit at the library. I wanted to, the TED Talks that the school initiated and that we have been running over the last few years has been phenomenal, because we now have a voice, and our voice can reach many other children across the world. So it's a great platform. We feel that our system is really student-centric. From the assessments that you took us into confidence and said, you designed the rubrics for your projects. It kind of helped us understand where we need to go and where we ought to be with the teacher. All the collaborative work where you said everybody's effort is going to be celebrated and there are no failures, gave us that resilience that failure is okay, but together we can succeed. I can go on and on, Shanti ma'am. We are all what we are because of you and this wonderful school. And I think Nirvana wanted to say this that earlier she was very hesitant to let others know of her issues, especially the teachers and the senior school management. But you put up suggestion boxes everywhere. And through the suggestion boxes, her problems were resolved, and that built confidence in her then to approach you and the teachers directly. And to the extent that she formed her own student support group. So, that and during the pandemic, the number of surveys you got us through actually gave us this platform to voice our thoughts, and the teacher quality assurance program that you've started, where we are able to give feedback about teachers also has empowered both us and the teachers, because in term two the teachers come with the changes that or the improvement plans that we wish to see. So it's a great school, ma'am, and I wish I come back as a teacher here.
Thank you. Give my love to Nirvana and to your brother. Nirvana deserves the best. And I'm sure, I mean, nothing better could, she deserved it. And I still remember, Manju, you used to, I remember when you were in sixth grade, you walked into my office and then you said, ma'am, a lot of students are wasting food when they're bringing lunch boxes. I'm going to help the school. I'm going to take it forward. And you formed a team and you went around, you had your lunch quickly, and then you went around helping the others not waste lunch. The children used to be scared of you when you come there. They used to quickly gobble the food, not waste food. You are an outstanding person. You have a tremendous leadership skill in you. May God bless you. Thank you so much for taking time and sharing your view. We'll look into it. Soft skills will not be skipped out of the education program. I assure you of that. We will see more interestingly how we can build in games and activities through which soft skills can be nurtured in the school. That's my responsibility. I'll surely take care of it. We have a lot of parents, who would like to contribute in that extent. They are skilled in, I'm sure Kapoor sir will agree that the parents can come in, pitch in, teach yoga or, some soft skills where the children together can learn some of the skills. We will organize it. We will take care of that. You will surely get one in the next term itself. We'll work on it. Thank you so much, Manju. And work on your studies also. That's
Yes,
important.
ma'am. I promise you will get a great result for the school.
Fantastic. All the best. And
Shanti
we
ma'am,
have
you can give me the responsibility of making, I can be the parent in charge.
wonderful. Thank you
And
so
I'll
much.
take it
That's really good. Partnering with the school, if parents partner with the school, I think progress of such a school can never be stopped. It will really, really grow. And we have Deepa ma'am here from the community here. How are you doing, ma'am? I think you have a lot of activities and busy schedule you have. Amidst this, you have taken time. What we would like to hear from you.
शादी मैम नमस्कार और आपका धन्यवाद कि आपने रेजिडेंट वेलफेयर एसोसिएशन को भी इनवाइट किया, क्योंकि हमारे पास बहुत सारी यादें हैं। और मंजू, आपको याद होगा एक इशू जो सबसे बड़ा था और एक कनेक्ट की जरूरत थी, और शांति मैम आपने वो जो स्टेप लिया था वो मुझे अभी तक याद है। हम 2 स्कूल हैं आजू बाजू में, साथ साथ हैं, और आपने ट्रैफिक का इशू होता था, साथ में फाटक पार करना होता था और फाटक बंद हो जाता था तो करीबन 1.5 घंटे का जाम होता था।
I remember, ma'am, you used to come and almost angry saying, look at the crowd outside. This all mismanaged, all that. And I'm really waiting to hear from you how the traffic out after school hour is managed now.
तो हम बड़े दिन से स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे, ट्रैफिक पुलिस सबको बुलाया, पर वो टाइम ऐसा था कि बच्चों को लेने का टाइम एक, बसें जाने का टाइम एक, फाटक बंद होने का टाइम एक। तो मुझे याद है आपने इनिशिएटिव लिया, आपने रेजिडेंट वेलफेयर एसोसिएशन, साथ में दोनों स्कूलों को इकट्ठा किया, बच्चों को इकट्ठा किया, पेरेंट्स को इकट्ठा किया। मुझे याद है कपूर सर आते थे और कहते थे मैं हमारे बच्चे लेट पहुंचते हैं, और जैसे वो बता रहे थे, फिर आपने सबको बोला कि हम 3 दिन तक सजेशंस करते हैं, इश्यूज रेज करते हैं, और 3 दिन बाद देखेंगे क्या होगा। और मुझे अभी तक याद है आपने दोनों स्कूलों के इक्वल इम्पोर्टेंस दिया और कहा कि 10 मिनट छुट्टी बाद में करेगा एक स्कूल, वो कोई भी डिसीजन ले सकता है। और हमने डिसाइड किया कि सर्दियों में एक जल्दी छुट्टी करेगा और गर्मियों में एक स्कूल जल्दी करेगा। और मुझे अभी भी याद है, आपने बच्चों को, मंजू मुझे याद है, आपने, यू वर वेरी यंग एट दैट टाइम बट यू वर आल्सो वन ऑफ द प्रीफेक्ट्स ऑफ द जूनियर। आप और सीनियर बच्चों ने ट्रैफिक मैनेज किया, एक गेट और खुलवाया आपने दूसरे स्कूल का, और बच्ची स्मूथली कारें अंदर आती और जाती थी, और सारा काम हम लोगों ने तकरीबन 10 दिन में रिजॉल्व किया था।
दीपा
मुझे
मैम,
याद है वो
दीपा आंटी, वो शेखर भैया जो मेरे बड़े भाई हैं ना, उन्होंने तो लेटर भी लिखा था। उन्होंने सबने मिल के जो लोकल गवर्नमेंट है उनके लिए लेटर लिखा था। और फिर आप आती थी, कपूर सर आते थे, मम्मी आती थी, एंड आप लोग कहते थे कि फर्क नहीं पड़ता किसका बच्चा है, कौन से स्कूल का बच्चा है, बट हम इनको सेफली क्रॉस करा देंगे। तो
मुझे याद है मंजू और शांति मैम खुद सेंटर पे खड़े होते थे, गेट पर आते थे, सिर्फ मॉनिटर ही नहीं करते थे, मुझे वो भी याद है, जो कभी कभी ट्रैफिक भी मैनेज करते थे। वो दिन मुझे याद है। और मुझे वो भी याद है कि जब हम लोग सब सेटल हो गए तो मैम ही थी जिन्होंने सबको बुलाया और एक बहुत अच्छी सी चाय पार्टी दी थी। वो एक रिलेशनशिप बिल्ड था कि ये 4 वॉल्स के बाहर भी, 4 दीवारों के बाहर और अंदर एक ही है। और मुझे सबसे ज्यादा याद आता है जब आपने कहा था, जब हमने निर्वाणा के लिए एडवोकेसी करनी थी, जब हमने टाउन वॉक करनी थी, तब आपने एक रिक्वेस्ट किया था, और मुझे अभी भी याद है कि हॉस्पिटल से डॉक्टर्स आए थे, साइकोलॉजिस्ट आए थे, कितने पेरेंट्स आए थे, पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट ग्रुप फॉर्म हुए थे, और हमने एक बड़ी सुंदर एडवोकेसी वॉक करी थी पूरे शहर में। तो सबसे अच्छा कमेंट मुझे अभी भी याद है, निर्वाणा और हमारे बाकी बच्चों को देखकर लोगों ने कहा था, ये लगते नहीं है स्पेशल नीड्स वाले हैं। मुझे अभी भी वो एपिसोड याद है। शांति मैम, आपने सिंगल हैंडेड वो ऑर्गेनाइज किया था, और कम्युनिटी ने सीखा था कि जो डिफरेंशिएशन है उसको कैसे डील किया जाए। वो मुझे एक एक एपिसोड याद है। और अब लिया है आपने कि ये जो हमारे यहाँ सामने सैपलिंग्स लगाने, और हमने एक रिकॉर्ड सैम्पलिंग्स और फॉरेस्ट बनाना है छोटा, वो रेलवे क्रॉसिंग के साथ जहाँ कूड़ा इकट्ठा होने लगा था। आई थिंक मंजू वो आप लोग अब टेक ओवर करोगे, और सबसे ज्यादा रीटा मैम और कपूर सर का मुझे याद है, वो कहते हैं कि मैं करूंगा, और सैपलिंग ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं।
दीपा आंटी, हम
थैंक
ये
यू।
भी कहना चाहते हैं कि आप कैसे स्पीकर्स को लेके आते थे हमारे स्कूल में, कम्युनिटी में जो स्पीकर्स थे, आप उनको स्कूल लेके आते थे कि आप बच्चों इनको सुनो। हमको लगा ही नहीं जैसे कि स्कूल और कम्युनिटी अलग चीजें हैं। वी वर सो, इट वाज सो सीमलेस, एंड
Yeah, and that's
and
because
and
of Shanti
and I,
ma'am's
and you would
initiative.
always say, and Shanti ma'am would repeat that, saying that it takes a village to raise a child. तो हम सब टीचर्स हैं आपके।
और मिसेस डोगरा, आप मैं ही नहीं कंट्रीब्यूट करूँगी, जिस हिसाब से स्टाफ हमारा मोटिवेटेड है, सब कुछ भी आप सोचेंगे या मैम कुछ भी सोचेंगे, प्रिंसिपल, हम सब कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे। मुझे याद है जब हमारा ये इंटर स्कूल कॉम्पिटिशन था, हम लोग अंदर अपनी सारे फूड पैकेट्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे थे, पार्टिसिपेंट्स को चॉकलेट दे रहे थे, ये सब हो रहा था। बहुत क्लियरली मैं मैम के रूम से निकल रही थी, मैंने मैम को देखा एडमिन ऑफिसर को इंस्ट्रक्ट करते हुए कि जितने भी स्कूलों की बसेस आई हैं उन सारे स्कूल के बसेस के ड्राइवर को फूड पैकेट आप डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे। फिर मैंने हमारी लेट नाइट एनुअल फंक्शन के टाइम पे हमारे सारे जो ग्रुप डी को भी फूड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है अलॉन्ग विद द स्टूडेंट पार्टिसिपेटरी। ये सब हम लोग को एक लर्निंग हो जाती है कि कैसे हम सबको लेके चलें, तो उसके साथ ही सबका सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंग बढ़ता है, मोटिवेशन लेवल बढ़ता है, तो प्यार बढ़ता है। और आई थिंक हम सब जैसे
Thank you.
मंजू
Thank
बेबी ने भी
you.
कहा, आई थिंक वी ऑल कैन वर्क टुगेदर एंड मेक दिस स्कूल
it
अ
becomes
बेटर
a ताकत बन जाती है मैम। हम लोग सब इकट्ठा काम करेंगे तो एक
प्लेस।
society, and we are also demonstrating it to children. See, the children also understand that I am part of this community where the school is functioning. I'm part of the community, and the teachers feel that they are part of the organization. Together, when we work together, I think we can achieve wonderful things. Thank you so much, Deepa ma'am, for taking time and coming here. I'm going to come to you asking for a project with our children wish to take it up. They want to create a drug awareness program in the nearby village. They feel that some of the village student boys are taking up into that habit, and they are very keen. They spoke to me about it. They said we want to work with the village. They want to take a rally talking about if you can help us getting the people together through an NGO organization, or your team can help us. We would like the children to go and घर घर जाके वो उनको educate करेंगे. So and I mean, I really want to encourage such projects from children, because this is nothing but a life skill. जब मंजू जी बता रही थी लाइफ स्किल चाहिए, दिस इज लाइफ स्किल दैट वॉट एवर दे नथिंग इज जज्ड ओनली बाय मार्क्स दे गेट इन द स्कूल, बट इन द स्कूल वी शुड प्रोवाइड दिस काइंड ऑफ प्लेटफॉर्म्स उनको देना है कि वो जाके कुछ करें, सम कम्युनिटी में कुछ, सोसाइटी में कुछ अचीव करें. That is what we are looking at, towards walking the journey towards transformation. And I think I have to thank all of you for taking your time and being with us in the school today. It's wonderful to have all of you here. Please have your cup of tea, and we can meet again. Next meeting, my phone number, my email, they're all with you. You can connect with me anytime, anything that you want to give me inputs on. Let's do it together, and let's come out with a lot of interesting projects so that the community, the school community, and the outside community, and the parent community, all of us participate in a very, very big way. Convey my regards to everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
मैम अगली मीटिंग कब है?
Next meeting after 3 months it will happen. Today we are in the July, so September, October, November we will have the next meeting. I'll send you information. Probably we'll get a different set of representatives also, so to get more diverse views are available for us to.
पर शांति मैम परसों हमारा वो सजेशन बॉक्स खोलने का दिन है, तो हम उसमें से भी परसों सजेशंस जो आएंगे सब जगह से उनको भी
Deepa ma'am, when you are working with your team is going to put up the suggestion box in the corridor, please make a note of it when it will be opened, and also make it as a system that they have to write the names, unauthorized, anonymous, all that. They should be transparent to give their opinion about it. Whatever it may be, we will address it. Let's have a committee, redressal committee, where they will sit together, go through one by one, and then the system can be formed so that how we will address it. We'll tell if certain things are not possible, we can also mention what are the constraints, why we are not able to do it. But it should be addressed very, very well. See that it is opened on time, and discussions are conducted and presented to me, so that we can all together take a right decision and share it with the students. Thank you so much.
एक लास्ट मैम, मिसेस डोगरा ने कहा था कि मुझे वो प्लांटेशन ड्राइव में पार्टिसिपेट, मैंने वो वॉलंटियर किया था, एंड आई अपोलोजाइज कि मैं उसको आगे लेके नहीं जा पाया क्योंकि मुझे सॉरी कुछ ऑफिशियल काम आ गए थे,
कोई बात नहीं,
बट मैं आगे जरूर इन्वॉल्व होऊंगा.
Yeah, it was managed lot by the enthusiastic students. Every child brought a sapling, and a lot of things happened. Now birthdays, their birthdays, now they are giving saplings and all of that. So it's going well, and of course we will need your expertise. Whenever you are free, probably you can pitch in and tell us how to go about it.
Thank you. और as participants for the role play, too much of gender bias हो रहा था, too many women in the group, इसीलिए वो कपूर सर बन गए थे.
So you are Mr. Kapoor बन गए हैं. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So I thank you all. Thank you all so much. Now we move back to the session now. I want the participants to write how you felt about going through this role play. What did you understand? How did you understand? Or did you like it? Let's just have likes, like in the social media, give a like.
Lot of people are like, they are praises for all this. They have a lot of praises for this, and for all of you, I'm continuously reading all the comments in the chat box. Everybody is praising, and everybody is saying this is the best way to learn and understand everything clearly. So big hand to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anjali ma'am. So you can see that we presented a role play. Don't worry about they were praising Shanti ma'am. It's a role play that was done here. But majorly what we wanted to say is that you have to handle the whole thing in a way that it becomes a culture in the school. Feedback can become a culture in the school. There will be issues like you can see Mr. Kapoor presented, look at the fee also, ma'am. He said that. It doesn't mean that they cannot talk what they want to say, but then we have to carry on with it. Our school needs to go through this evaluation process of getting beneficiary satisfaction. Is the need for it, if you realize it, I'm sure you will bring it in a very beautiful manner. You can see that in a hidden way, a lot of things were pointed out. The mentoring role was pointed out by Rita, and how parents wishing to take up roles in the school, partnering. I was talking about engaging parents, that was demonstrated here. And the toilet, about infrastructure was brought out. The cleanliness of the toilet was a problem earlier, that was brought out, how it was addressed. Beneficiary satisfaction, how it helped the school to improve in many ways, was brought out in a very, very beautiful manner. That was the purpose. I have to thank all of them for joining, making this session so lively. Thanks again to all of you. And so the whole sense of making sense of the SQAAF framework is about, we have to look at it in totality. You will see that it was beneficiary satisfaction was the idea behind this simulation we gave, but they touched upon the areas of teaching. The inclusive practices was touched upon. It was, everything matters when you get a benefit. The school gets motivated to take up more and more initiatives when the right feedback, right feed forward is given from the beneficiaries of the school. It's important that they play a very important role in the managing a school. So how we are going to accelerate that, or how are you going to stimulate the taking the feedback mechanism in the school, lies with many of us. And we also know that they're not very popular in our schools for whatever reasons, we don't know. But SQAAF framework requires the beneficiary feedback to be brought in, structured in a very beautiful manner into the school system, that I think you can work it out when you think about it, how to do it. And another important area is also, some schools, we do have feedback mechanisms, we ask the feedback, but what do we do with it also matters. The data collected there, are we presenting it as a chart, or the consolidating it and understanding what is going wrong, what is not going well, what is going very well, and what can be improved more. That kind of a treatment has to be given to the feedback forms and the whatever feed forward forms we get. So that has to be done. Even the self-assessment, which we are talking about, the PDCA cycle, and that, for that, even the reflection forms can be taken by us. It's a feedback form can be done, that even a teacher class can be a reflection by the students. Did I understand well? Did I not understand? Or the teacher taking, making a review of ourselves and then presenting it to the head of the department, becomes a feedback form, which will make us understand whether the beneficiary satisfaction is planned. It is about, so with this, we come to the end of today's session. Happy learning, and the quest for excellence keeps continuing. It doesn't end here. So we all want your feedback on the sessions you had, today's session, and so many other 10 sessions you already had. This is the 11th session we have. Please, I'm sure Anjali ma'am will be floating in the feedback form. Please put in your feedback to make us get to understand what really was good, what was needed to improve more. Did you get a hang of the domain 7? It's the whole impact of domain 7 into the school program, education program. Please take a look at it and give us. And this is the spirit of SQAA. It's beautiful that self-reflection, accountability, collaboration, innovation is the tagline of SQAA. Let us all keep doing it and see progress in our own beautiful manner. And the next session is going to be, before you have question answers, we can take your questions in the chat box. Please put your questions there. The next session is going to be on policy. When you are going through the performance indicators in every domain, you will see that subdomain, you will see that in the 4th dynamic level, there is a policy. The school has a policy. It will be mentioned there in every performance indicator. So we need to know how to draft a policy for it. That's one of the very important sessions. That policy helps the school to sustain whatever the school is doing. If it becomes a policy of the school, anybody getting newly inducted to the school can easily slide into it by knowing the policy document of the school. So that's a very important session. That's going to be the 11th September. It's going to be conducted by Kalpana ma'am, so please be available for that. But before that, if you have any questions, we would like to answer your questions. Any questions, Rita ma'am, that we should take it together? All the resource persons are here.
Yeah, Shanti ma'am, I think Kalpana ma'am has done half of my job, though I was busy jotting down a whole lot of stuff, but I think it has come in a ready form from Kalpana ma'am. Basically, the highlights of the day has been, it's a good information, practical ideas were given, very informative session, knowledgeable, role play was amazing. They wished all parents complained smilingly, like Kalpana ma'am. And they found the session very interesting, and they said all 7 domains have been well explained and noteworthy. Role play was an amazing idea. It was entertaining and awesome. Apprising us about feedback and feed forward is what they have appreciated, and they felt all the stakeholders have done very well. So pat on the back, Kalpana ma'am, Deepa ma'am, Manju ma'am. Innovative session and a great learning experience and wonderful energetic role play, and it gave a whole lot of insight. And then they said the symbiotic relationship has got all the benefits. I hope, just hold on. Yeah, and they talked about how the peer learning has happened when we were talking about the importance of domain 7. Whole lot of comments came which gave us a whole lot of insight and understanding of our audience. They talked about it involves the overall growth of students, it leads to improvement, it completes triangle of holistic education, can keep a check on school activities, that how to achieve satisfaction is what is visible when we take beneficiary satisfaction into mind. Yes, customer is a king, as a king, if we take it as that. There are a whole lot of, it is a service industry in a way, but there is an objective behind it. How do we actually see that the learning outcomes are met? If we keep that in mind, everything falls in place. And what they have brought out is coordination among all is important to achieve the vision. If there is a school's vision is clear to everybody and everybody works together to achieve that, and it results in complete development of the child. And when we work in harmony, it helps to do better. It is one of the people left a comment that service industry is like an education. Service industry is also like education, also service industry, and just the way every level of beneficiary satisfaction should be gauged, should be worked upon, should be met. This is what we must do in the education space as well. Every beneficiary plays a very important role, is what people have left a comment on. They say that it is important to take feedback from all the stakeholders, and any good school which is actually wanting to achieve high levels of excellence, they do that. And of course, we can devise variety of ways to accomplish that. And it says that whole story starts and ends with the stakeholders, with the beneficiaries. And the satisfaction of stakeholders helps to improve. The people have mentioned that it helps us to identify strengths and weaknesses, and they keep us updated. And it is a win-win scenario for everybody. It paves the path for growth, and which is very correct, and it results in symbiotic relationship. And as a result, everybody works together and grows together. And it's important to know their needs. After all, if we are trying to do something for the students, what do really students want? Are we really helping them achieve what they wish to achieve? Looking at other things, somebody mentioned it as a touchstone method. It helps in achieving efficiency, it increases the impact, it helps in knowing school can find out about the loopholes. And of course, it is a good feedback and feed forward. When there is a good mechanism of feedback and feed forward, it helps us to understand their expectations and assess if the processes are going well or not. Very beautifully said by one of the participants that leadership is the relationship.
Correct.
Yeah. And one person says that are the future employers not beneficiaries? Very beautifully brought out. I think that is why what does the what do I say, the society need? So doing a gap analysis of what kind of people we need for the country. What is the future employment like if we tweak
Absolutely.
our learning
Very,
outcomes
very
accordingly?
rightly said. We need to keep an eye on what is going to be the future, what is going to be the requirement for the future in our country and things like that. And
After all, we
accordingly
are the ones who are
feedback.
providing
Right, absolutely.
with the
That's very
human
valid.
resource.
Yeah, very valid.
How will our human resource be, and what kind of human resource is the country looking at?
Right.
So, but yes, we have to, shouldn't be forgetting to include them in our feedback loop. And I remember in the previous sessions that we have had, people did talk about the internships and things like that. When there is industry connect, that is when we find out what the future employment is going to
The
be.
national education policy is stressing a lot on giving a diverse options for children, taking up
Yes.
diverse skills getting nurtured in students. So I think very rightly said that beneficiary satisfaction will tell us, remind us that we are all moving futuristic, moving forward. so that somebody will tell us, no, this is not what we are looking at from the school. We need something more than this. So that's something. It becomes an eye opener actually.
Yeah, and when you asked about what are the ways that you collect feedback and things like that, survey is something that came up many a times, and somebody also went about talking about without data collection we cannot really take effective decisions or corrective actions. Very rightly pointed out, because data points are the one which gives us inputs, and any
Absolutely.
decision for
Even
that matter.
assessments, I think, Rita, when we are talking about assessments, even the question paper, we have to take a feedback from the students. So we will be able to get an idea of how the question paper has been done. Whether
Yeah,
it's in the right
yes.
aspect, which was the
Very
difficult
beautifully
thing.
mentioned by one person here who says that after every question paper there is a question on how was the question paper. So I really found the idea very amusing, and which I take back home. And yes, when you talked about do you see any challenges in the feedback? The whole lot of challenges were brought out. A lot of people mentioned that parents भी खुद को अपने आप को उतने equipped नहीं समझते हैं, या पढ़े लिखे नहीं समझते हैं, या literate नहीं समझते हैं, which way they feel that they can give ideas to the school. Probably parent satisfaction को किस तरीके से gauge किया जाए, problem में feedback mechanism अपना बदलना होगा. Some parents don't show interest is what they have written. They are not appreciated each time when the ideas are given. So there is a lot of learning for us. There is teachers feel criticized. Why are we feeling criticized? We'll have to all look into our feedback mechanism. Can the open door policy be part of the policy?
Also, one more thing I think is, can the fear be removed from people before coming and giving feedback?
Yes.
Look
yes.
at how there's no fear. They can walk in and then give. The parents sometimes are afraid of giving feedback. That
Yes.
has to be also, the school has to work on that.
So I see a whole lot of like, is there a good relationship between parents and the teachers, or teachers and the management? Because there are certain points, certain comments where it is written that we want to do it, but the management support is not there. So sometimes probably somebody goes with an idea, but the higher up probably does not want to have an open door policy or whatever feedback policy. So we do understand that there will be challenges. There are multiple ways that we can devise it. Then you were talking about, when you put up a question related to what are the best practices, how students can give feedback. The whole of answers came starting from Google form to exit feedback to oral feedback. Like I mentioned about that question paper, which had at the end, how does the child assess the question
Right.
paper? And it's a good thought in those people, the people who are fearing it, if the secrecy is maintained, who has said what, maybe that helps. Maybe there's one point that we can take home. Open door policy is what they want to talk about. Management meets every month. One school person mentioned that their management meets teachers every month, which seems to be a very good idea. And then there are self-assessment forms. Student leaders can be involved, and suggestion boxes and idea boxes people have talked about. People have even talked about voting in the classroom, town hall participation, where the group D is also brought into discussion, and their concerns and their ideas to bring up the school can also be talked about. Some people feel, I mean, probably in the past they gave feedback, it was not acted upon. So I really liked when we were doing the role play, and it was brought to everybody's attention that what we cannot. You mentioned there will be probably certain things which parents gave an idea for, and we are not able to implement. It is important to let the person know what we implemented, or what did we could not implement, what was the reason we could not implement it. So I really understand that the full loop must be completed. And that tells parents that if nothing has changed, there was a reason why it couldn't be changed. And involvement of peer educators will help. And people talked about taking students' feedback in a manner when there are some projects to be done. Ask them what subject they want to study, what projects they want to do, what part of curriculum. Basically, they want, somebody suggested that students' involvement can also be increased by they giving their views on the curriculum structuring and things like that. Somebody has also mentioned that visits to student homes also they do. It's a very good idea, where there are special cases where we need to have need to know more about the background of the student. We could probably do that. And there's somebody who has talked about 3-to-1 strategy, where 3 doubts can be asked for 2 things that they loved, and 1 question you want to. These are the tools that they have talked about. Yes, all can be. It's a lot of peer learning that has happened with all of us. As far the simulation is concerned, somebody mentioned why isn't the parent asking, why isn't Mr. Kapoor asking, why is school conducting 80 marks paper for class 2 kids? We would
Why
have
is it not conducting?
yeah, no, there are parents.
अरे
There are
बच्चा को
parents who
छोड़
probably
दीजिए ना क्या करना
no,
है
no, it's. I think it's brought out in a very cynical manner.
sarcastic manner
It's
maybe.
a sarcasm that has been brought out that
If
there
you
are
ask me,
parents
I'll give
who
100 on
probably
100 and leave the kid
yeah.
to
So
be in
yeah,
peace.
so yeah, and people, and there are queries and suggestions that people have. Some people have mentioned that SQAA portal is not working. It is generally
That's
working.
Anjali ma'am, you can look at it.
Anjali ma'am can answer that, and
Ma'am,
probably there are.
let me explain about SQAA portal. It's very important. If your SQAA portal is not opening with your LOC credential, उसके बिल्कुल साथ में लिखा हुआ है log in with one time password sent on your CBSE shiksha.in school ID. If you are not able to log in with your LOC password, please log in with one time password.
I hope you got your
That's it.
answer. And ma'am told in the very beginning there are 9,000 people who have already uploaded. So that means if there is specific issue with your school uploading, you could always write an email and the tech department of CBSE will look into
Yes,
it.
yes. If even then with one-time password you are not able to log in, please send a screenshot on the given SQAA email ID only. Don't send it to anybody else. Please send it to us only so that we are able to help you directly.
Yeah. Second question, how can I get access to the other webinars? Shanti
They're
ma'am?
all available in YouTube.
All webinars are available in CBSE Academic YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that and you will get everything in there.
And the PPT ma'am?
The PPT is there, no?
We will be PPT is already there in the all the videos, but again because everybody is asking, we have requested, and we will be uploading the PPTs once the webinars are over. After the 13th webinar on 15th, we will be uploading PPTs also, where we have already uploaded self-paced learning modules. So we will upload all the PPTs so that you all get help from that.
So the next point is similar to the previous one. Coming to the next one, how to stop migration of teachers when management doesn't want to pay more. It's a very, very, I think we can have another webinar on this. I'll skip to the next
Not just
question,
that,
unless somebody wants to answer that.
management, see, if the management gets engaged well with the school, they will understand the role of teachers, and probably only then they can understand how, paying money, because of money, people are leaving. So the management has to take a call on that. So probably engage them more, ask them to come to school very often and find out, sit in meetings and then find out. And also they can work on, find out what is comparable to the same schools in the same locality, how there's a structure of salaries and all of that. So it is a vision of the management that needs to be, strengthened so that they can work on it. We have to only keep projecting things to them so that they understand what is it.
Is CBSE doing something about teacher salaries and working conditions?
Ma'am, it's already very clearly mentioned in affiliation bylaws, and we take papers also at the time of affiliation, that it will be as per your state government rules. So teachers has to be proactive. I would say if it is not satisfactory or there is some problem, you can write to CBSE affiliation unit, and it is very clearly mentioned what are the working conditions and what are the सैलरी पैकेजेस. जो भी सैलरी आपको दी जाएगी वो प्रॉपर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के रूल्स के अकॉर्डिंगली, जो भी आपको स्कूल फॉलो करेगा उसके अकॉर्डिंग.
And somebody said that there should be a SOP for every practice: transport, cleanliness, security persons, gate persons, class in charge, monitors. You're very right. How big, how small, how descriptive, how short. Of course, school decides that, but that should be descriptive enough for people too, even the new person.
Yeah, that is what we are talking about from the first day one. We are saying systems thinking approach is needed. The people should think about how transport will be done. Even if this X person is not there, who will replace? Like that level, micro thinking has to happen and prepare the SOPs, and then everybody is aware of the SOPs, and then the system will run on its own. They will have clarity on that.
One more thing I would like to add here, since everybody is asking for transport, cleanliness and all. आई थिंक एनसीएफ जो मैंने अभी तक देखा है उसमें भी बड़ी सुंदर तरीके से उन्होंने लिखा है कि किस तरह इवन द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन बिटवीन पेरेंट्स, टीचर्स एंड पेरेंट्स, स्टूडेंट्स एंड टीचर्स, प्रिंसिपल एंड टीचर्स. So NCF guides you on that also. So please read NCF which is out and follow what is written in that. Even about assembly, all little things which we do in school, NCF has something to say about it in those 600 pages.
Right. That's very good. NCF is
Yes.
showing it's almost like a manual.
Yes, it's almost like a manual.
It seems that the comments are continually coming because Kalpana ma'am is adding with every passing time.
How to make feedback objective. It has to become an objective one. When you prepare a feedback, you will understand whether what you want to what the response you are expecting. Accordingly, you have to work on it. It has to be objective, and wherein you want them to be subjectively explaining and doing things, you can all feedback forms which are objective in nature have to be evaluated. Have you evaluated, consolidated, then it makes better sense out of it.
And we have also put a feedback form link in the chat box. You all are requested to give us objective feedback.
Yeah, there are questions coming up here. Can CBSE make alumni association mandatory for schools? It's all in the bylaws. It's in bylaws. A lot of things are given there. Anything else, Rita? Key responsibility areas. That's again. It is something which is given to a teacher when the teacher joins the school. These are all your responsibilities, and you are expected to go this. It's like you are giving a expected performance. What is expected out of you? So that is what is the key responsibility area, and it is evaluated at the end of the year. This was given to you. How did you perform? What the rating you have got in these areas? That's how they work for appraisals also. That's it.
That's it, Shanti ma'am. It has been a wonderful session. We really learnt a lot from you, of course, and from the.
The one last question. One Uttara Majumdar is asking, how are you working on telling schools to make the atmosphere non-threatening for teachers? It has to be the teachers are the people who are taking the vision into reality. The school has a vision, leader communicates the vision, she can put the policies in place, but teachers are the people who are taking that vision into reality. And when they are only controlled, it can never happen in a school. So I suppose it's a part of the the leadership style that the leader should be able to motivate people. Intrinsically, people get motivated and then they take up the initiatives. That's the only way. Then it will become non-threatening. Only then it can become non-threatening.
Yeah, Joyita
Leadership
Dasgupta.
seminars are also conducted.
Yes.
We have leadership
CBSE
seminars.
Conducting seminars. CBSE is saying a lot of things on various platforms. CBSE is preparing various modules. So please go and read, and then only I think we'll be able to achieve.
Anjali, there's a request from Joyita Dasgupta who says CBSE is requested to make knowledge of basic technology mandatory for teachers and not just CTET and STET. That's very important.
Even ma'am, in CTET, few basic questions are asked on basic knowledge of that. And I think post-corona, we are all at least basic literacy सबको हो गई है technology की. But if it is not there, like we have been discussing, and on a serious note, I would like to say that if there is one teacher who is not technically sound, somebody else who's technically sound can hold hand and
Teach
help that teacher. That is how the schools work, and that is how it should be. So अगर कोई ऐसा टीचर है जिसको टेक्नोलॉजी का कम पता है, तो आप उसके लिए कोई एक स्पेशल क्लास लगा सकते हैं. किसी और टीचर को कह सकते हैं कि इनकी हैंड होल्डिंग करिए, उन्हें बताइए. So that can also be done in school.
And I think CBSE themselves are setting examples by doing webinars and not just doing the offline session. They are their own affiliation inspections have gone online. So a lot of changes are already there in our practices. And
the handbook they have released for AI and technology is amazing, ma'am. How English and AI can be structured together, and a lot of input ideas are there given by CBSE. That manual which they've released is really good.
And
So
thank you, Kalpana ma'am. I had copied, pasted every feedback, and I filled up 3 pages.
thank
When
you.
you send these 5 pages, I thought, what did I miss? You had
Thank you,
taken
Rita
5
ma'am. It's
pages
an
out of
amazing
that.
contribution from you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kalpana
Welcome,
ma'am.
ma'am. I'm that critical parent noting down everything.
And
Mr. Kapoor.
there was one very beautiful comment. Somebody said कि अगर सभी लोग कल्पना मैम के तरह पेरेंट हो और वो मुस्कुराते हुए स्कूल को कंप्लेंट करें तो बिल्कुल बुरा नहीं लगे.
Absolutely. मैंने ही
क्योंकि
पढ़ा वो.
क्योंकि प्रिंसिपल ने एक ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट दिया है
Yes,
openness का,
exactly.
non threatening का,
That's right.
जी,
Right.
जी.
है ना? So it all
Chitra
depends on
Krishna
the
Kumar
school
ma'am, you
culture.
can give feedback for any session that you want to do.
Fine.
It-
Thank you so
So,
much, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanti ma'am, once again for wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you to the whole team for being there, and special thanks for this wonderful role play. I think everybody enjoyed it, and everybody is going back and telling them वो जो 11 number वाला webinar है वो जरूर देख लेना. I'm sure everybody is going to do that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone who's there watching us and giving us feedback and sharing their thoughts. I hope you will be benefited by this wonderful session. And once again, thank you to the technical team who's always there to support. And thank you to Samiksha also. Thank you once again to everyone. Enjoy your cup of tea and have a great evening.
Yeah. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
Raman ma'am and Anjali ma'am.
Yes.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks to
Anjali.
Raman also.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Kalpana.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye
Rita.
bye. Thank you. Thank you.